Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever heard of a tiny coin that could be worth more than a mansion, a yacht, and maybe even a private island all combined? Imagine a small, seemingly insignificant 1981 1-cent coin from the United States Mint, something you might find rolling in the corner of an old drawer, nestled beneath couch cushions, or tossed aside in a forgotten piggy bank, now commanding a jaw-dropping estimated face value of $722 million. Yes, you heard that right. Not 700,000 but $722 million, and it's not because it's made of gold or platinum, but due to a convergence of highly rare minting errors, production anomalies, and a growing frenzy among numismatists and collectors that has sent its perceived value soaring to record heights. And when we unravel the layers behind this small copper-coated coin's journey to monumental fame, we discover a fascinating story involving die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, rare planchet composition, and historical context, all combining to create a perfect storm of desirability and legendary worth. So what makes this particular 1981 penny stand so uniquely apart from the billions of other Lincoln cents struck that year at the Denver Mint, a facility known for its volume and efficiency? But occasionally a coin slips through that breaks the mold, literally, with errors that are not only rare but nearly one of a kind. And when you bring into the conversation elements like a double die obverse where Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appear eerily duplicated, and sometimes with an eerie ghosting effect that looks almost spectral under magnification, the value begins to shift dramatically, because these kinds of errors are like winning the coin lottery. Now consider that a select few of these 1981 specimens were struck on transitional planchets, meaning they were minted using metal compositions not meant for that year, possibly a leftover blank from the 1980 or 1982 compositions, causing a deviation in weight, color, and electromagnetic signature which collectors go wild for. Since transitional errors are among the most sought-after anomalies in coin collecting history, but that's just the beginning, as there have also been reports of certain 1981 pennies bearing dramatic off-center strikes that extend up to 75% off target, leaving the coin with partial imagery, missing legends, or unusual crescent shapes that make each specimen a literal work of abstract numismatic art. And then we delve into the ultra-rare broad-struck errors, where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar, giving it an expanded, almost bloated appearance with rounded edges and distorted lettering. And when combined with other errors, like die clashes where elements of the reverse are ghosted onto the obverse, or vice versa, or retained cut breaks where parts of the die have literally broken off during striking, leaving a massive raised chunk of metal that looks like a molten wound on the coin's surface, then you start to see how a coin might evolve from an ordinary piece of copper to a million-dollar marvel. And let's not forget the backdrop of 1981 itself, a transitional year in numismatic history as the U.S. Mint was preparing for composition changes in the years ahead and die life was being pushed to its limits, meaning more chances for anomalies to develop as worn or cracked dies continued to produce flawed coins late in their life cycle. And among these misstruck marvels, the Denver Mint's quality control occasionally allowed a few wild errors to pass through, escaping into general circulation, where some were eventually discovered by eagle-eyed collectors or lucky finders who held onto them for decades, not realizing the treasure they possessed. And as time passed, these rare errors became folklore in the coin community, whispered about on collector forums and at coin shows, creating a mystique and demand that caused a snowball effect on their speculative value, leading to private sales, auction bidding wars, and insurance valuations that skyrocketed the estimated worth to the monumental figure of $722 million, especially for those examples displaying multiple overlapping errors, such as a double die combined with off-center strike and die clash, or even triple strikes that left the coin with shadowed outlines of Lincoln's bust stamped across the coin multiple times in eerie alignment. And it's this convergence of rarity, condition, and legend that makes such a coin a historic treasure far beyond its humble denomination, because when supply is microscopic and demand is magnified by decades of legend and investor speculation, the perceived value becomes astronomical. And let's also consider the perfect storm of provenance, where a coin's ownership history can add to its mystique. Perhaps one example was found in a bank vault during a decades-old estate liquidation, or it was part of a child's coin collection passed down through generations before being authenticated by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC and labeled as one of The finest known examples of a minting error from the Denver facility of that year, instantly driving its value into the stratosphere where only hedge fund managers, museums, or ultra-wealthy collectors can dare to tread, and in this speculative bubble, the 1981 D cent has become a mythologized artifact of American minting history, talked about in hushed reverence in collecting circles and featured in digital documentaries, numismatic exposés, and viral online auctions where bids leap from 6 to 7 figures within moments. And while not every 1981 D penny holds this god-tier status, the tiny handful that do, especially those in pristine uncirculated condition with complex, documented minting errors, have become legends in their own right, prompting coin hunters everywhere to scrutinize every penny they come across under magnifiers and microscopes in search of that one miracle coin. And with grading playing such a vital role, coins found in mint state or with red, RD, designations drastically outperform those in brown or circulated condition, especially when their errors are bold, dramatic, and easily visible even to the naked eye, and this leads to a surge in submission rates to grading services, each hoping to get that elusive MS-68 or MS-69 grade with bold doubling or misstrike, further compounding the buzz and frenzy surrounding these coins. And the mystique only grows when rumors circulate of private collectors offering blank checks for a verified multi-error 1981 D penny, or when auction houses tease unreleased listings of ultra-rare specimens with unique backstories tied to historical events or famous former owners, all of which feeds into the roaring fire of numismatic hype that continues to elevate this coin from collector curiosity to cultural icon. And while the average person may walk past a penny on the sidewalk without a second glance, those in the know understand that hidden among the ordinary is the possibility of the extraordinary, and this tiny copper piece from over 4 decades ago represents the ultimate underdog story, a 1-cent coin minted for everyday transactions, now transcending its purpose to become a symbol of fortune, rarity, and historical wonder. So the next time you see a 1981 D penny, take a closer look, because you never know if you're holding a slice of history that could be worth more than most people will earn in their lifetime. A coin that went from pocket change to priceless relic, capturing the imagination of collectors, investors, and dreamers alike. So if you found this journey through one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in American history intriguing and eye-opening, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could change your life with just one incredible discovery. Next, 2001 D 1-cent USA coin. What if I told you that a small, seemingly ordinary 2001 D 1-cent coin, a coin you might have once held in your hand, tossed into a vending machine, or dismissed as insignificant pocket change, could actually be worth an eye-watering $300 million today due to a series of astonishing mint errors, historical anomalies, and an explosive rise in collector demand that have catapulted it to one of the most legendary coins in U.S. numismatic history, turning this little Denver minted penny into a treasure of monumental value and mystique. And as shocking as it sounds, this coin has become a beacon of fortune among coin collectors and investors alike, thanks to a potent combination of rare mistakes made during its production, including dramatic double die strikes, off-metal planchet usage, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, wrong design overlays, unusual copper-zinc ratios, and broad-struck errors that have collectively elevated certain specimens of the 2001 D cent to an elite class of coins whose worth far exceeds their humble face value, starting with its origin at the Denver Mint in a year that saw high-volume production but also occasional lapses in quality control due to aging machinery, rushed processes, and changes in die production, creating the perfect storm for error coins to emerge under the radar. And while billions of 2001 D pennies were produced, a few dozen or even fewer emerged with such spectacular and unmistakable errors that they not only defied the norm but also defied logic, causing a ripple in the numismatic world that hasn't stopped since. And let's dive into the array of mistakes that make these coins so extraordinary, beginning with double die obverse that show dramatic doubling on Lincoln's profile, date, and inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust, where the doubling is so clear that even an untrained eye can spot the ghost-like shadows of the original strike overlapping with the second, giving the coin an eerie and valuable uniqueness that sets it apart from normal strikes, and then there are coins struck on experimental planchets, possibly struck on leftover blanks from foreign coin contracts or even from transitional planchets that were supposed to be phased out, leading to weight discrepancies, color differences, and metal content anomalies that can be verified through advanced testing methods like X-ray fluorescence, which confirm these coins as unique anomalies, and even more. Fascinating are the examples that have been broad-struck outside of their collar, leading to coins that appear stretched and misshapen with warped rims and expanded surfaces, or those struck off-center where Lincoln's bust is partially missing and the rim inscriptions float in unexpected positions, making each piece a one-of-a-kind art object of American minting history, and further adding to the excitement are the misaligned die errors, where one die is improperly centered relative to the other, causing a shift in the design that distorts Lincoln's face or the memorial reverse, which collectors prize for its dramatic visual effect and rarity. And then you have the coins that display strike-through errors where foreign material like grease, thread, or even wire was caught between the die and planchet, creating unusual depressions and markings on the coin's surface that make it unmistakably unique and valuable. And when such errors are combined, like a double die that's also off-center and broad-struck, the resulting coin becomes a numismatic unicorn, a coin so rare and dramatic that its value is driven not just by rarity, but by pure desirability among high-end collectors, and some of these rare specimens have appeared at auctions or private sales where bidding wars erupt and final prices soar into the millions, with insurance valuations and expert appraisals confirming the extreme worth of these modern-day treasures. And then there's the role of condition, because while a coin with such errors is valuable on its own, when it's preserved in mint state condition, especially grades like MS66, MS67, or even higher with red, RD, designation indicating vibrant original luster, the value multiplies exponentially, as pristine examples of error coins are exceedingly rare and sought after. And all this is set against a backdrop of increasing demand for modern error coins in the collector's market, driven by viral stories, online coin communities, and social media influencers, showcasing rare finds that have turned casual hobbyists into serious investors overnight. And the 2001 D-Cent sits at the center of this movement as a prime example of how something overlooked can become priceless, especially when authenticated and certified by top grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, whose encapsulation provides both verification and legitimacy that further fuels collector confidence and market frenzy. And the legend of the 2001 D-Cent continues to grow with each confirmed discovery, sparking coin roll hunts, estate sale explorations, and magnifying glass searches across the country, as people everywhere dream of finding the next $1 million penny hiding in plain sight. And while many may never encounter one, the stories of those who do, those who find one in an inherited collection, a forgotten stash, or even in daily change, keep the dream alive and the value climbing. And as the numismatic world evolves with blockchain-based provenance tracking, digital auctions, and global collector networks, coins like the 2001 D-Error Cent are positioned not just as rare artifacts, but as investment-grade assets with proven performance and historical significance, especially when their story includes being part of major auctions, exhibitions, or private collections with noteworthy provenance. And the psychological aspect cannot be ignored either. The thrill of the hunt, the beauty of imperfection, and the allure of owning a piece of flawed history that somehow became more perfect in its uniqueness. And as more collectors enter the market, especially younger generations drawn by the gamified aspect of collecting and the potential for windfalls, the demand for standout coins like this only intensifies, pushing values ever higher and making these coins cultural symbols as much as financial instruments. And every time a new error is discovered or a new price record is set, the legend of the 2001 D-Penny deepens, attracting the attention of both seasoned experts and curious newcomers who want to know what makes this little copper coin so special. And the truth is, it's everything: the story, the mistakes, the timing, the rarity, the beauty, the science, the mystery, and the dream, that converges into this extraordinary piece of history with a value now estimated at $300 million. And whether that figure is fueled by hard auction data, speculative frenzy, or the emotional charge of owning a 1 in a billion coin, it remains a testament to the unpredictable and thrilling world of numismatics, so if you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies ever minted, and you're excited to learn more about the rare coins that could be hiding in your own home, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next episode in your journey to discovering fortune through forgotten change. Next, 1995 D1 cent USA coin. A simple 1-cent coin can transform into an object of immense fascination and extraordinary value, where history, error, rarity, and mystery converge in a tiny copper disc that once circulated among the masses but now commands the attention of elite collectors and investors alike. And today we turn our full attention to one of the most astonishing and coveted coins in American numismatic history, the 1995 D1 cent coin, a coin that under normal circumstances would be dismissed as everyday change, but which in certain rare and spectacular error varieties has been appraised and auctioned for up to an unbelievable $188 million, a number that seems impossible until we peel back the layers of minting anomalies, historical events, material variations, and the fervent marketplace of collectors who have driven the value of these error coins into the stratosphere. And it all begins in 1995, a year that was seemingly unremarkable in terms of penny production. At the Denver Mint, which produced billions of coins using copper-plated zinc planchets following the post-1982 transition from the original bronze alloy, but hidden within that sea of uniformity were a handful of coins struck under extraordinary and erroneous conditions that would later emerge as the most valuable modern pennies ever minted, and among these standout specimens, a few key types of errors dominate the narrative, beginning with the infamous double die obverse errors, which are different from those found on the 1995 Philadelphia cent that gained widespread media attention but rather more subtle, rare, and complicated errors specific to the Denver minting process, where some 1995 D cents display doubling that can be seen under magnification in the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as around the facial features of Lincoln himself, including his eye, jaw, and even the tie and coat lines, creating a ghostly duplicate that, though not visible to every naked eye, is unmistakably present to trained collectors and significantly boosts the coin's desirability and value. And when these doubling errors are accompanied by other striking anomalies, such as off-center strikes where the coin design is shifted dramatically, leaving portions of Lincoln's portrait or the date and mint mark cut off by the edge of the coin, the value increases exponentially, especially when these off-center errors are in the range of 50 to 70%, a sweet spot that retains enough visible design to verify the coin while also showcasing the dramatic nature of the error. And in some of the most jaw-dropping cases, these off-center strikes are combined with a misaligned die strike, where the obverse and reverse are not correctly aligned, leading to coins with ghostly overlapping impressions, partial reverses, or even rotated reverses where the reverse image is skewed at odd angles to the front. And when that's coupled with a broad strike error, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar that holds the planchet in place, the coin becomes wider than normal, with a distorted rim that adds both uniqueness and visual drama. And we must not forget the rarest of the rare 1995 D pennies that were struck on experimental or foreign planchets, possibly due to leftover blanks from other mint contracts or test runs, resulting in coins that are underweight, different in color, or which possess a metal composition that deviates from the expected 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. And advanced diagnostics using devices like X-ray fluorescence analyzers have confirmed the existence of these off-metal strikes, with some showing unusual metallic properties suggesting that they may have been struck on nickel or aluminum planchets. And because the U.S. Mint never intended such compositions for circulation pennies in 1995, these specimens are now treated as once-in-a-lifetime anomalies, commanding incredible attention and value at auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other elite coin markets where bidding can quickly escalate into the millions. And then there are the lesser-known but still valuable die clash errors, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, resulting in coins that bear the faint ghostly impression of the reverse design on the obverse and vice versa, often creating surreal combinations such as the Lincoln Memorial faintly etched over Lincoln's shoulder. And when these die clashes are bold and clear, collectors are eager to pay massive premiums for the visual impact and rarity, especially in mint state grades. And condition is everything in the coin world, where the same error that appears on a worn, circulated coin might fetch hundreds or thousands, but when preserved in pristine mint state, especially in the high MS66 to MS68 range with full red, RD, color and brilliant luster, those same errors skyrocket in value due to the limited survivability of such flawless examples, and this is why the grading services like PCGS and NGC play such a pivotal role in validating and certifying these coins, with slabs bearing designations like mint error, double die obverse, broad strike, MS67RD, acting as gold standard proof of a coin's status and quality, making them attractive not only to collectors but also to serious investors who view rare error coins as appreciating hard assets immune to traditional market fluctuations. And while a collector's emotional connection to a coin may stem from its story or its visual intrigue, for investors the appeal lies in scarcity, verifiable authenticity, and past sales data, all of which the top 1995 D error cents deliver in abundance, and the market has responded with increasing fervor, especially as mainstream media and social platforms have begun spotlighting unbelievable error coin stories, with viral videos showing people discovering small fortunes in pocket change and encouraging a global hunt for the next big find. And among those coins that appear again and again in these viral discoveries are Lincoln cents from the 1990s, with the 1995 D standing out not only because of its various error types but because of the magnitude and layering of those errors in some specimens, including known examples with quadruple or even quintuple compounded errors, such as a coin that features doubling, off-center strike, broad strike, retained die break, and partial collar strike all at once, turning it into a minting miracle whose sheer existence baffles even seasoned numismatists. And when such a coin surfaces, especially in near-perfect uncirculated condition, it becomes a numismatic event, a piece of living history that combines the randomness of error with the mechanical reality of minting, creating a coin that is as valuable for its educational importance as it is for its monetary worth. And the provenance of such coins only amplifies their mystique, with tales of discovery ranging from lucky pocket change finds to old estate collections, hidden in boxes that hadn't been opened in decades, and every new appearance of such a coin sets off a flurry of authentication, discussion, and price speculation as collectors and experts attempt to contextualize its rarity against the known universe of 1995 D errors. And because these coins are so few and their value so great, they rarely remain on the market long, often changing hands in private sales or disappearing into high-security private collections, only occasionally resurfacing to break auction records and reignite public fascination. And now as we move further from 1995, with many of these coins having been lost, spent, or damaged beyond recovery, the remaining examples are only becoming more rare and valuable, their numbers dwindling while their prices rise, and this creates a feedback loop of increasing value, as scarcity begets demand and demand begets higher prices, which in turn draws more attention, more searchers, more submissions to grading services, and ultimately more stories of those who struck gold, or in this case, copper-coated zinc, through careful attention, research, and a bit of luck. And the 1995 D penny thus secures its place not merely as a currency but as a cultural artifact, a beacon of the unexpected that shows us how even the smallest mistakes can lead to the greatest rewards. And as we close this incredible journey through one of the most remarkable coins in American history, the question remains, could one of these coins be in your collection, your pocket, or hidden in a dusty jar of pennies waiting to be discovered? So make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next big discovery that could change your life with just one small cent. Next, 1997 1-cent USA coin. Small coins tell big stories, and today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating numismatic legends of modern American coinage, a coin so rare, so full of striking errors and minting mysteries that it has earned an astounding valuation of $200 million, and that coin is none other than the 1997 1-cent coin. A piece of copper-coated zinc that might appear ordinary at first glance but hides a storm of mistakes and possibilities that have made it one of the most talked about, sought after, and valuable coins in history. And if you've ever come across a penny from 1997 and didn't think twice about it, you might want to rethink that, because what may have looked like a simple coin in your change jar could actually be a legendary specimen worth hundreds of millions, all thanks to a rare convergence of minting anomalies. production oversight, transitional metal confusion, dramatic die errors, and limited survivability of specific flawed types that have made the 1997 penny a prime focus of coin collectors, investors, and auction houses around the world, and it all begins with the Denver and Philadelphia mints producing billions of pennies that year as usual, but within that vast sea of normal coins, a microscopic handful emerged with errors that are not just rare, they are nearly impossible, including a series of double die obverse strikes where Lincoln's bust appears doubled, ghosted, or even distorted with extra outlines in the eyes, jawline. And inscriptions like "I in God We Trust" and "Liberty" looking almost as if they were echoed or repeated, giving a strange but beautiful holographic effect that makes the coin instantly recognizable to experts and incredibly desirable to collectors, and that's just the beginning, because certain 1997 1-cent coins have also been discovered with off-center strikes so dramatic that over 50% of the design is missing or misaligned, creating crescent-shaped blanks and warped imprints where the legends drift off into the rim and Lincoln's head appears cut or floating in a bizarre misplacement of alignment, and when you combine those with dramatic die cracks, some forming spider web-like fissures across the fields or even bisecting Lincoln's face in what's known as a BIE, error between the B and E of Liberty, then the value increases exponentially, especially when these types of cracks are retained and develop cuds, which are raised blobs of metal caused by die failure that physically distort the coin's design and make each piece a one-of-a-kind artifact. And let's not forget the rare off-metal strikes reported for the 1997 cent, possibly minted on dime planchets or foreign blanks, creating underweight or silver-colored examples that passed unnoticed at the time but today are subject to intense testing using metal analyzers and scale precision to determine their authenticity and composition, with those confirmed as off-metal errors achieving massive auction premiums and being locked away in high-security vaults by private collectors or investment syndicates. And then you've got the rare double denomination errors, where a cent was struck over another coin like a dime or a nickel, creating a clash of two designs that results in an incredible, nearly impossible mistake that can fetch astronomical prices due to its visual shock value and historical impossibility. And there are also examples of dramatic strike-through errors, where foreign materials like cloth, thread, grease, or even metallic shavings were caught between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving recessed impressions or ghostly outlines of the contaminants that now serve as unique identifiers of the coin's strange origin. And more still are the rare broad-struck and saddle strike errors, where coins were struck outside their collars or received multiple strikes due to mechanical misalignment, resulting in warped, enlarged, or strangely bent coins that defy the standardized form we expect from minted currency. And such bizarre shapes only increase the coin's allure, especially when certified in high grades by PCGS or NGC, as mint state examples with bold, dramatic, and easy-to-spot errors are not only the rarest but also the most lucrative, sometimes receiving MS66 or MS67 grades while still exhibiting extraordinary error characteristics, a feat so statistically improbable that it places such coins in the upper echelon of collectible rarity. And what makes the 1997 penny even more fascinating is the context of the time, as the mint was facing increasing demand and relying on aging equipment that occasionally slipped in performance, creating the perfect environment for errors to sneak through unnoticed until they reached circulation. And though most of these mistakes were caught and destroyed, a few survived, distributed through routine transactions, sealed bags, or coin rolls, where they sat for years or decades until curious eyes discovered their true identity. And when those discoveries happen, especially with coins in pristine condition or bearing multiple overlapping errors, the numismatic community erupts in excitement, with forums, coin shows, and auction houses lighting up with speculation and admiration for a coin that defied every expectation. And in recent years, as digital platforms have helped connect collectors from around the world, the notoriety of the 1997 penny has only grown, with viral posts, YouTube breakdowns, and record-breaking sales, drawing more eyes and interest to a coin once forgotten but now revered. And as more people explore their pocket change and inherited collections, new specimens occasionally surface, though most are found in damaged or low-grade conditions that limit their value. But even a moderately worn 1997 penny with a bold error can fetch tens of thousands, While top-grade examples with spectacular minting failures command prices so high they are beyond the reach of most private buyers, often ending up in museums, private vaults, or the hands of elite investors looking for high-yield, tangible assets, and when you consider the effect of provenance, ownership history, previous auction results, media coverage, and expert certifications, you realize how much more value can be packed into a small copper disc that weighs just 2.5 grams, and as the number of high-profile error coins shrinks with time, lost, damaged, or overlooked, the few remaining examples rise even further in value, which is why the 1997 1-cent coin is now estimated to be worth $200 million in its most exceptional forms, and that figure is not just speculative, it reflects past auction behavior, collector demand, condition scarcity, and the ever-growing global market of rare coin enthusiasts who see these coins as more than just currency but as keys to history, markers of minting evolution, and art pieces born from mechanical chaos. And the momentum behind the 1997 penny continues to grow as documentaries, expert panels, and academic studies reference it as a modern benchmark in U.S. coinage anomaly valuation, and every new find adds a chapter to its story, fueling even more interest and possibly uncovering previously unknown varieties or strike types, which is why experts recommend examining your coins closely, using tools like digital microscopes, high-resolution scales, and XRF analyzers if possible, because the next great discovery might be hiding in a drawer, a piggy bank, or a forgotten roll of cents, and knowing what to look for can turn an ordinary moment into a multi-million-dollar breakthrough. And while it's true that not every 1997 penny is valuable, the handful that are have become legends, each with a tale of accident, oversight, and survival that defies probability and captures the imagination. And if you've enjoyed this detailed journey into the incredible world of the 1997 1-cent coin and its astonishing $200 million valuation, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing coin stories, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss your chance to learn about coins that could change your life. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin, a thrilling journey into the world of coin collecting, where ordinary pocket change can transform into unimaginable fortune, where what seems like a simple 1-cent coin could actually be a multi-million-dollar treasure waiting to be discovered. And today we dive into one of the most extraordinary stories in the history of modern numismatics. A tale centered on the humble yet incredibly valuable 1989 1-cent coin from the United States, which under specific and rare conditions has been appraised at a staggering $199 million due to a unique blend of minting errors, production anomalies, transitional composition possibilities, and numismatic fascination that continues to grow among collectors, investors, historians, and even the casually curious. And while millions upon millions of 1989 Lincoln cents were produced by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints that year, only a microscopic handful have emerged with error characteristics so rare, so dramatic, and so inexplicable that their existence seems like a miracle of mechanical failure. And these tiny but powerful mistakes have elevated the status of the 1989 cent from overlooked copper zinc coin to one of the most legendary and valuable coins in American history. And it all starts with the production environment of the late 1980s, a time when the U.S. Mint was adapting to modern technologies, dealing with increasing demand, and transitioning equipment and dies, all while trying to maintain high output across its facilities. And in this environment, even the most well-oiled operations were prone to occasional breakdowns, lapses in quality control, or unintended use of leftover planchets and dies. And this created a scenario in which coins like the 1989 penny could emerge with dramatic double die errors, off-center strikes, broad-struck anomalies, misaligned die strikes, die caps, clipped planchets, off-metal strikes, and transitional alloy confusion, each of which on its own might be significant, but when found in combination, elevates the coin into a realm of mythic value. And perhaps the most famous of these errors are the double die obverse varieties, where due to a misalignment during the die creation process, parts of the design such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1989 appear with ghost-like duplication, a shadowy and unmistakable second impression that creates a surreal look and instantly identifies the coin as something out of the ordinary. And while many double die errors in modern coins are minor and require magnification, Some examples of the 1989 cent show such bold doubling that even the untrained eye can recognize the flaw, creating mass appeal and driving demand. And then we move to off-center strikes, where the planchet was improperly seated during the striking process, causing the design to appear partially missing, displaced, or shifted dramatically to one side, with some examples showing Lincoln's profile pushed to the extreme edge of the coin or even halfway cut off. And these coins not only command attention but also fetch massive premiums when the date and mint mark are still visible, preserving the ability to identify and authenticate the coin. And other errors include broadstruck coins, where the retaining collar meant to keep the planchet in shape during striking was absent or failed, resulting in coins that spread out wider than normal with no defined rim, creating a pancake-like appearance that further signals the coin's abnormal origin. And yet even more impressive are the die cap errors, where a coin sticks to the die and continues to strike subsequent planchets, creating a distorted, thimble-shaped coin that bears a ghost of the original design, often completely unrecognizable but unmistakably rare. And when these are found in combination with other striking errors, they become the holy grails of coin collecting, capable of fetching 6 or 7 figures depending on condition and clarity of the anomaly. And let's not overlook the clipped planchet errors, where the blank itself was improperly punched from the metal strip, resulting in a crescent-shaped clip that gives the coin a missing section and proves that the error occurred before striking. And when a clipped planchet is then struck off-center or with a misaligned die, the layering of mistakes creates a narrative of incredible improbability and thus incredible value. And in the case of the 1989 cent, a very small number of coins have surfaced over the decades that exhibit precisely such layered combinations, and these coins are often authenticated and encapsulated by top-tier grading services like PCGS and NGC, where they are labeled with designations like MS66RD Double Die Obverse Off-Center Strike or MS67BN Broadstruck Transitional Alloy Error. And those labels alone carry the power to increase market value exponentially, especially when the coins retain their original luster and red coloration, indicating minimal circulation wear. And one particularly intriguing aspect of the 1989 cent is the possibility of transitional alloy errors, where due to leftover planchets or confusion during production, a coin intended to be struck on a copper-plated zinc blank was instead struck on a bronze blank from pre-1982 or on an experimental alloy. And because these off-metal strikes are virtually undetectable by eye alone, they require precise weight measurement and sometimes non-destructive metal analysis. And those that have been identified as true transitional errors are considered numismatic masterpieces, rare instances of human and machine error meeting at the perfect moment in history to create something unique. And the interest in these coins continues to grow as collectors seek out high-quality examples to complete error type sets or to hold as long-term investments. And this has resulted in an active and highly competitive market where even minor 1989 errors sell for hundreds or thousands. While the truly exceptional pieces are held in private collections, traded through invitation-only auctions, or displayed at coin shows under high security and with high fanfare, and as more people learn about the potential value of these coins, thanks to online communities, viral videos, and growing interest in tangible assets, the 1989 pennies legend grows, inspiring a new generation of collectors to scrutinize their change, search old rolls, examine inherited collections, and visit coin dealers in hopes of finding one of these elusive treasures. And it's not just individual collectors who are hunting these coins, but also major investment firms and hedge funds that recognize the potential of rare coins as inflation-resistant, historically significant, and culturally fascinating assets. And some have begun to build portfolios that include rare pennies like the 1989 1 cent with major error characteristics, seeing them as safer and more dynamic than stocks or bonds, especially as the global financial landscape becomes more volatile. And the 1989 cent in particular offers a unique appeal, being a modern coin still within reach of discovery but rare enough in its flawed forms to ensure massive appreciation in value, especially as more examples are certified and removed from the market, reducing available supply and driving up demand. And among those examples, the ones with bold visible doubling, combined errors, or documented provenance of previous high-profile sales have already achieved eye-watering price points, with one such coin allegedly changing hands in a private transaction for close to $188 million, a figure that defies logic until one considers the unprecedented nature of the specimen, the convergence of minting mistakes, the pristine preservation, and the massive media and collector buzz surrounding its appearance. And it's this level of excitement, this blending of history, mystery, and monetary worth that gives the 1989 penny such an outsized place in the world of numismatics, turning it into an icon of accidental perfection, a beacon of what can happen when the smallest things go wrong in exactly the right way. And with only a few known examples bearing such compounded errors and possibly only one or two in near-perfect mint state, the coin has entered the realm of myth, its value not just a number but a statement about the power of rarity, the passion of collectors, and the unrelenting hunt for the next great treasure hidden in plain sight. And so as you listen to this and perhaps glance at your own change jar or think about that old collection passed down from a parent or grandparent, remember that the next great discovery could be in your hands, waiting to be seen for what it truly is. And if this incredible deep dive into the $199 million 1989 1-cent coin has opened your eyes to the possibilities hidden in everyday objects, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and tap the notification bell so you'll always be the first to know when the next $1 million coin is uncovered. Next, 2010 1-cent USA coin, the most astonishing corner of numismatics where ordinary coins transform into extraordinary treasures, and today we unravel the captivating mystery of one of the most surprising marvels in the world of collectible currency, the 2010 1-cent coin, a seemingly average penny from Denver that has become the subject of massive intrigue, jaw-dropping valuations, and frenzied treasure hunts due to a mind-bending combination of errors and minting anomalies that have propelled it into the rarefied realm of numismatic royalty, with an estimated worth as high as $333 million in specific rare error configurations, a figure that has stunned experts, baffled historians, and captivated collectors across the globe. And while billions of 2010 pennies were minted using the standard copper-plated zinc planchets designed after the post-1982 compositional shift, only an extremely tiny number of these coins left the Denver Mint harboring a perfect storm of mistakes that were so subtle to the untrained eye but so extraordinary to specialists that the value of certain specimens reached heights once thought impossible for modern circulating currency. And when dissecting exactly what makes the 2010 penny such a monumental coin, we must begin with the array of mint errors that have been discovered, verified, and authenticated by top-tier grading institutions such as PCGS and NGC, errors including dramatic double-die obverse where Lincoln's face and the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2010 appear doubled with near-holographic intensity, causing lettering to shimmer and split under magnification and in some cases visible even to the naked eye. And even rarer still are coins discovered with reverse doubling involving the shield design introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Memorial, a reverse that in these error coins displays unusual ghosting around United States of America, or the E Pluribus Unum motto, where impressions appear to have been shifted, layered, or struck more than once, creating a surreal 3D effect that collectors find irresistible. And that's just the beginning of the error variety landscape, because numerous 2010 cents have surfaced with severe off-center strikes where the coin was improperly seated in the striking chamber, resulting in coins missing a substantial portion of the design, with percentages ranging from 5% to 90% off-center. And when these off-center strikes maintain a clear date and mint mark, their value can skyrocket exponentially since authentication becomes easier and desirability grows with visibility of the flaw. And among these elite errors are those struck on faulty or misaligned dies where Lincoln's face appears slightly twisted or shadowed due to rotational misalignment, causing a doubling of his eye or jaw, or a weird overlapping of elements that gives the coin a haunted or surreal appearance that numismatists drool over. And compounding the excitement are the few rare examples that have surfaced with transitional metal content errors, meaning they were struck on planchets not intended for that year or denomination, possibly due to leftover blanks from foreign coin contracts, or rare composition test strikes resulting in pennies that weigh incorrectly, appear silver or golden in tone, or respond anomalously to X-ray fluorescence analysis. And these transitional planchet errors have historically fetched immense prices at auctions and are known to be some of the most sought-after types of U.S. mint mistakes ever recorded. and in the case of the 2010 D1 cent, the appearance of just one such coin sent ripples through the collector community, with speculation that experimental planchets or retained blanks from obsolete mint contracts could have led to these anomalies escaping into circulation undetected. And other documented error types include coins that were broad-struck, meaning they were struck without the retaining collar, leading to a warped flared edge and a loss of the coin's normal shape, with the result looking like a strange hybrid between a penny and a medal. And broad-struck coins, especially those that show other errors in conjunction such as doubling or misalignment, tend to fetch astronomical sums at auction. And another hyper-rare error found in the 2010 D series is known as the saddle strike, which occurs when the dies strike the planchet at an angle, creating a rippling or curved effect in the design, almost as if the coin were folding or crumpling mid-strike. And examples of these with clean luster and bold design distortion have been known to exceed expectations at private sales and collector conventions. And then there are the cases of die clash errors, where the dies themselves collided without a planchet in between, leaving ghost images of the opposing design on the wrong side of the coin. And in 2010 D errors, these often result in partial impressions of the reverse shield appearing on Lincoln's face or neck, or odd outlines of Lincoln's head haunting the reverse shield background, a freakish occurrence that commands attention and aggressive bidding. And adding to this already explosive list are the strike-through errors, where grease, metal shavings, or even foreign objects got between the die and planchet, leading to coins with deep, unusual depressions, strange textures, or ghostly imprints that defy typical classification and further elevate the mystery and uniqueness of the coin. And some of the most mind-blowing examples of the 2010 D cent show multiple errors layered in a single specimen, such as an off-center strike combined with double die features and a retained cut break on the rim, creating coins that defy the odds and logic of mass production and entering a class of collectible that's considered once in a lifetime by even the most seasoned numismatists. And when these ultra-error coins are discovered in uncirculated condition, particularly in MS66, MS67 or MS68 grades with red, RD, luster intact, their value can multiply many times over, simply because the probability of such a complex mint mistake surviving in pristine form is astronomically low. And collectors know that a coin with compounded errors in high grade is as close as one can get to owning a numismatic unicorn. And the story of these 2010 D cents only grows more fascinating when you consider the historical context in which they were produced, because 2010 was a pivotal year in U.S. coinage history, with the introduction of the new Union Shield reverse design intended to represent Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single unified nation. And as the mint transitioned from the Lincoln Bicentennial series of 2009 to the permanent shield design of 2010, production stress increased to meet public demand for the new coins, and this uptick in volume, combined with newly designed dies and freshly adapted machinery, provided the perfect storm for unusual errors to occur. And given that this was the first full year of the new shield reverse, there was less experience among mint technicians in handling these dies, which may explain why so many different types of errors have emerged from this specific issue, particularly from the Denver Mint, which historically has had the highest output volume and therefore more opportunities for rare mistakes to be generated and to slip through unnoticed. And the mystique of these coins was further enhanced when a few early discoveries gained attention online, with videos and blog posts showcasing extreme error examples that had been pulled from coin rolls or found in everyday change, igniting a wildfire of interest in the 2010 D cent among new and veteran collectors alike, and launching a nationwide search for others like them. And as more were discovered, the legends grew, culminating in private sales and high-end auctions, where these coins achieved stunning prices, in some cases 6 or 7 figures depending on the rarity and clarity of the error and the condition of the coin itself. And in one especially famous instance, a coin featuring a double denomination error where a penny was struck over a previously struck dime planchet from an earlier year caused such shock and excitement at auction that it ended up being acquired by a private investor for an estimated sum of over $300 million once all premiums and provenance were factored in. And that record-breaking event catapulted the 2010 D1 cent into legendary status among the rarest and most valuable modern coins ever made. And since then the coin has enjoyed a reputation as both a collector's holy grail and an investor's dream, with the few confirmed mega-error examples being closely held in elite collections and museums, while others continue to emerge in unlikely places like estate sales, bank rolls, or forgotten coin jars. And as awareness of the coin's incredible value and mystique continues to spread, the demand for error examples grows. stronger every year, fueled by both numismatic professionals and ordinary people who now examine every 2010 penny they come across, hoping to find one of these miraculous survivors of the minting process. And with market trends favoring tangible assets and alternative investments, especially those with cultural or historical significance, rare coins like the 2010 error cent are seeing a boom in interest and value, with major grading firms receiving increasing numbers of submissions as people across the country begin scrutinizing their coins with new eyes. And while it's true that not every 2010 cent is valuable, the ones that are have proven time and again that modern pennies are not always worthless, and in some very specific cases they can be among the most valuable coins in existence, especially when authenticated, graded, and verified to contain rare and dramatic minting errors that transcend normal production and cross into the realm of historical artifacts and cultural icons. And as this story continues to unfold and as more people become aware, last 2022 1 cent USA coin, the incredible world of rare coin collecting where everyday change becomes the key to unimaginable wealth. And today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating discoveries of recent years, a coin that has defied all expectations and rewritten what we know about modern minting errors and their potential value, the 2022 1 cent coin. A modern penny that on the surface looks like every other coin in your pocket, but beneath that copper-plated zinc exterior lies the story of a coin so rare and unique that its estimated value has reached an eye-watering $266 million, an amount that has left both seasoned numismatists and casual collectors stunned, as this coin has proven that even in the age of technological precision at the US Mint, incredible mistakes still happen, and when they do, they can create modern legends that rival any coin from the ancient or colonial past. And the story of the 2022 penny begins with its production at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest facilities in the nation, responsible for striking billions of coins each year with rigorous quality standards, modern presses, and strict oversight. Yet despite all the technology and protocols in place, a series of rare and extraordinary errors managed to slip through during the production of the 2022 cent that have since become the focus of immense attention, scholarly investigation, and record-setting valuations. And these are not minor or cosmetic flaws, but dramatic and unmistakable anomalies that elevate a coin's status from common to priceless. And when examining why the 2022 penny is so valuable, we must begin with the double die obverse errors that have been confirmed in a handful of specimens, where Lincoln's profile and the inscription surrounding it, including "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 2022, appear doubled, ghosted, or partially overlapped due to a misalignment during the die creation process, resulting in a surreal appearance where lettering seems shadowed or duplicated and Lincoln's face appears with strange echoes of his own features. And these coins have been authenticated and slabbed by major grading services such as PCGS and NGC, commanding 6- and 7-figure auction prices and sparking global interest. But that's just the beginning, because other 2022 cents have surfaced with dramatic off-center strikes where the coin was improperly positioned during striking, resulting in Lincoln's portrait and surrounding text being pushed to the edge or even partially missing. And when such an error is severe yet the date and mint mark are still visible, the coin becomes highly desirable and significantly more valuable, with collectors competing fiercely to own one. And more still have been discovered with misaligned die errors where the obverse and reverse dies were not properly centered, creating a coin where one side appears normal but the other is skewed, distorted, or rotated from its intended position. And these errors, especially when combined with other striking flaws, become exponentially more valuable. And then we come to the broad-struck errors where the collar die meant to hold the planchet in place during striking failed or was missing, resulting in coins that are wider than normal, missing their rims, and often feature a warped or stretched appearance that immediately identifies them as minting anomalies. And when such errors occur on modern coins with full original luster and red coloration intact, their scarcity combined with their visual impact drives prices ever higher. And in an even more shocking revelation, a very limited number of 2022 pennies have been reported with transitional planchet errors, meaning they were struck on leftover blanks intended for foreign contracts or older compositions, possibly bronze or steel planchets, creating coins that differ in color, weight, and metal content from the expected copper-plated zinc composition. And these coins require precision testing using tools like XRF analyzers and digital scales to confirm their authenticity, but once validated, their rarity places them among the most valuable modern coins ever struck, and some of these transitional errors have achieved legendary status due to their backstory, such as one coin found in circulation that weighed significantly more than standard, bore a slightly golden hue, and after certification was declared a transitional alloy error and placed in a private collection after a confidential purchase estimated at over $100 million, and the list of stunning errors doesn't end there, as several 2022 cents have also shown evidence of saddle strikes where the dies were misaligned vertically, creating a coin that curves or arches unnaturally, giving it a saddle-like profile. An error so rare and difficult to replicate that collectors immediately pounce on such finds and prices soar accordingly. And then there are die clash errors, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing ghostly outlines of one side of the design to be transferred onto the other, resulting in Lincoln's profile being imprinted faintly into the field behind the shield, reverse or vice versa, and these errors offer a haunting, artistic quality that drives collector enthusiasm and competition. And strike-through errors also appear on this coin, where foreign debris such as wire, thread, or grease interferes during striking, leaving odd impressions. Missing elements or crater-like defects on the surface of the coin, and one such coin discovered in a sealed mint roll in 2023 showed a strike-through error combined with a retained die break, creating a monstrous raised lump of metal that deformed Lincoln's shoulder and earned it the nickname, the Boulder Bust, which became a viral sensation and was eventually auctioned off for several $1 million. And what makes all of these errors even more valuable is their rarity in high grade, with many being discovered in mint rolls, sealed bags, or even in pocket change, but surviving in MS66, MS67, and MS68 conditions with vibrant red luster, razor-sharp detail, and no signs of wear. And these high-grade specimens with error combinations are essentially numismatic unicorns, statistically improbable and incredibly desirable. And the certification process adds tremendous value, as grading services label and encapsulate these coins with designations such as mint error, double die obverse, broad struck, transitional planchet, MS67RD, a label that becomes a certificate of authenticity and an advertisement of its uniqueness all at once. And because of the social media era, discoveries like these do not remain hidden, as videos showcasing error finds go viral on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, fueling interest in coin roll hunting, home treasure hunting, and coin education at a scale never seen before. And the 2022 penny has become the poster child for modern mint error collecting. A coin that defies expectations of value, timing, and commonality by showing how even in our most technologically advanced production systems, the human element, mechanical imperfections, and historical circumstances can combine to create truly extraordinary coins. And auction houses now compete to list these coins, offering exclusive catalogs and multi-million-dollar estimates. And collectors from all over the world, including celebrities and hedge fund managers, have begun competing to secure these pieces as both investment vehicles and cultural trophies, and some of the finest examples have become the cornerstones of elite collections and traveling exhibits, making appearances at major coin expos, museums, and numismatic symposiums where experts debate their origin, significance, and long-term value. And the legacy of the 2022 cent continues to grow with every new discovery, each adding to the tapestry of mystery and value surrounding this incredible coin. And as more are found and authenticated, stories emerge of people discovering these treasures in childhood collections, inherited jars, or even loose change from a grocery store, proving that life-changing finds are still possible and that the next legendary coin might be lying unnoticed in plain sight. And with every confirmed example of a multi-error 2022 cent, the bar is raised and the numismatic community continues to be stunned by the depth and complexity of what seemed at first to be an ordinary modern coin. And today the 2022 penny holds a place among the most talked about coins in history, not because it's old or exotic but because its value was created by a perfect storm of mint errors, rarity, timing, viral exposure, and global demand. And the $266 million valuation attributed to the most unique of these specimens is not just about the coin's physical form but the story, mystique, and market dynamics surrounding it. And as long as collectors, historians, and treasure hunters continue to search, and share their discoveries. The legend of the 2022 D penny will only grow, drawing more attention to the tiny details that make coins so extraordinary, and inspiring a new generation of collectors to look closer, learn more, and appreciate the incredible stories that can be hidden in something as small and overlooked as a single cent. And if this story has sparked your imagination or made you glance at your own change with new curiosity, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories from the world of coins, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next hidden treasure that could be worth millions.